Well, it is holiday time, and that means it's pretty stressful for a lot of people, or it can be, but it doesn't have to be. Ways to manage your stress, super important this time of year, especially if you're getting together with family. Maybe you haven't seen them in a while. So I wanted to chat with Dr. Brad Schwal from the center. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's say you've got family, you're gathering, maybe it's the first time in a long time, but there's a little bit of conflict in the family.
Yes.
How do you tiptoe around it? Do you talk about it? Do you not? Do you ignore it? What do you do?
Right, so here's the thing. If there's conflict in your family, it's not going to change over the holidays. So we expect that conflict to continue. If we're not speaking with our families, we focus on the family around us. We recognize that this won't change just for the holidays, and we may be grieving that. If we are with our family with whom we have conflict and there is that tension, we want to more observe than react.
You don't want to fuel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, the conflict that happens year-round is not going to be changed over the holiday. And here's an important tip for any time of year. We cannot change or control the behavior of others. All we can do is choose how we want to respond.
Yeah.
And so the same thing applies at holiday gatherings.
I love that, and I always say that I try to be the water in a situation. If there's fire, I pour water on it.
Absolutely.
I don't add fuel to the fire.
Absolutely.
You know, you mentioned grieving, and I think this is also a time when perhaps someone in a family has passed, right? Or this is the first time that a family's gathering, and so they're grieving together. Maybe it's something they haven't dealt with. What are your suggestions or advice around that?
It's okay to be sad. So certainly we want to enjoy the holidays, but that sadness is a part of the process. And I think what you can do is tell your friends and family that it is okay to talk about the loved one you lost, because sometimes talking about memories again can help us process. It can also help to make some new traditions, to almost break up your holiday into segments and think of what you can do that's enjoyable. And maybe a part of that is sharing with family about the loved one that you lost.
Yeah.
So really accepting it, but at the same time adapting and adjusting so that you can do things that are enjoyable.
Yeah, and especially I know that this is hard if it's the first year that these people have gone into a holiday season or situation without someone who is important to them.
For sure.
Finally, okay, we got to talk about FOMO, because a lot of people have to work, or they can't be with their families, they can't travel to see their loved ones. So how do you kind of avoid this fear of missing out on something that you really want to do over the holidays? Right.
So we have high expectations for what our holiday should be like. As parents, our kids' behavior isn't going to magically change over the holiday. Our toddlers are going to have tantrums. We're going to have conflict with our kids.
Yeah, Santa's gone.
Right. So focus on what you find meaningful about the holiday. Focus on what you want. Don't have too unrealistic of expectations. And we don't want to focus just on having an Instagram holiday. We want to focus on having a meaningful holiday, and recognizing that while we want to enjoy what we have, we want to be grateful and have that gratitude. Sometimes what looks on the outside looks to be happy, it isn't always. So we need to accept that, but then in the end, be grateful for what we have. When things are going well, sometimes we take things for granted, and then when things are difficult or stressful, being grateful can help us to keep the right perspective.
Ooh, that is great advice. Thank you so much, Dr. Schwal. We appreciate you being here.
Absolutely.